Gen V Season 2's finale finally confirms the truth about its overarching villain, paving the way for The Boys Season 5 to have another major conflict. Since Gen V was initially doing its own thing and only drawing subtle references to the events of its parent series, it seemed unlikely that its storyline would directly seep into that of The Boys. However, after Gen V Season 2's finale reveal, it is evident that its main villain character will have a huge role to play in The Boys' final installment. After The Boys Season 4's ending, one could see that the show had already set the stage for many intriguing story developments for the final arc. Everything from Butcher's soup reveal to Starlight's newfound ability to fly was revealed. Following Gen V Season 2's ending, there is even more to look forward to in The Boys Season 5. Gen V Season 2, Episode 7 confirms that Thomas Godolkin was the one controlling Cypher. Gen V Season 2 kept viewers hooked by maintaining an air of ambiguity surrounding Cypher's origins and identity and revealing little about the burnt man in his home. However, a common theory among viewers was that the burnt man was Thomas Godolkin, who was using Cypher as a meat puppet by mind-controlling him. Every bit of this Cypher theory turned out to be true in Gen V Season 2's finale as the show confirmed that Godolkin was indeed a master puppet. The man Godolkin controlled was nothing but an ordinary human who had lost all control of his body to Godolkin's powers. Marie was previously not able to find any compound V in Cypher's blood because the Thomas Godolkin host was never a soup. Godolkin's overarching plan was to help Marie reach her true potential as a soup, so that she could heal his burnt body and help him retain his normal human form. Owing to this, he used Cypher's body as a host and pushed her to reach the limits of her true powers. Marie, too, fell for the trap and ended up using her abilities to heal Godolkin's body. As a result, he retained his lost bodily function and walked free in the world to execute his plan of wiping out weak soups and allowing the stronger ones to rule as gods. Gen V Season 2 sets up Godolkin as the finale's big bad. Up till now, Homelander was portrayed as the main big villain of the series because of his soup supremacist beliefs. Billy Butcher also became an antagonistic figure in The Boys Season 4's finale after he set out on his mission to wipe out all soups from the planet. However, Godolkin seems far worse than Homelander and Butcher because he cares about no one. While Homelander and Butcher only hate those who oppose their ideals, Godolkin's apathy extends to almost all of humanity. Both Butcher and Homelander are driven by their previous traumas, which led them to justify their cruelty as a means to an end. Godolkin, in contrast, envisions a soup-dominated utopia, where the weak and the powerless either perish or surrender to the strongest soups of the world. With Godolkin's ideals going against Butcher and Homelander's, he will be an even bigger threat to the world than either of the two. He also seems to have the incredibly smart Sister Sage on his side, which gives him a significant edge. What Godolkin's return would mean for The Boys Season 5. Godolkin seems to have the power to control almost every soup with his abilities. Unlike Kate, he does not have to touch someone to be able to control them. Owing to this, it is hard not to wonder if he would be able to control Homelander and use him as his puppet to execute his plan of committing soup genocide. Billy Butcher and Godolkin have similar motives in the sense that they both hope to wipe out a significant number of soups from the planet. The key difference in their plans is that Butcher hopes to eradicate all soups while Godolkin hopes to preserve only the best ones. Godolkin could leverage his shared goal with Billy Butcher by manipulating him and strategically using the soup-killing virus. Sister Sage could help him formulate an ultimate plan, where he could trick Butcher into becoming his ally. However, this would put him at odds with Homelander. Since Marie, too, has seemingly become one of the strongest soups in the Boys universe, Cypher could target her again. Using her powers, he could not only make strong soups even more powerful but also commit mass murders of the weaker ones to get closer to his envisioned soup utopia. There's one way the villain might not make it to The Boys' final season. Polarity became an unexpectedly competent hero in Gen V Season 2. He not only helped the young soups get to the bottom of the overarching Cypher mystery but also managed to deflect Godolkin's powers using his own Magneto-esque abilities. Owing to this, he currently seems to be the only soup who is immune to Godolkin's mind control. Godolkin could easily make another incredibly strong soup his puppet and use them to get Polarity out of his way. However, if Polarity finds a way to get even stronger with Marie's help, he might be able to use his powers to protect other soups from Godolkin.